Hey guys, I also realized I forgot to mention something in the Barney video I recently uploaded, but I didn't figure out how to put it in there, especially since I wanted to end on a heartwarming, dramatic, and hopeful note, so I'm just making this video as a follow-up because of that. Anyway, as you can probably tell, I'm really excited about Barney's World. In fact, I've been excited for Barney's World so long before the leaked episode, I've actually made a few plans for stuff I wanted Barney's World to actually do, and that I want to present to Mattel so I can try to help out with the series. I'm not sure if it will actually happen, but I do have a few ideas that I will probably make videos about. So, keep in mind, those videos might be coming up as soon as I announce that I'm going to start working on them. Now, they were originally going to be Barney and Friends ideas before the Barney's World announcement, but especially since I also had a lot more, but when Barney's World was announced, I figured those plans might as well go down the toilet since most of them would be Barney's and Friends and I can't figure out a way to edit them. But I did find a few plans that I was able to edit, like these free plans I'm going to be mentioning right now. So, these free plans that were originally going to be Barney Friends plans are now going to be Barney's World plans because, well, it's my way of showing support to the series. And because I feel like they're really good ideas, and they should be examples for Barney, even if they're not like, originally Barney and Friends. Just because, I'm sure you know what I mean, sorry for confusing you. Anyway, my first plan is a crossover between Barney's World and Sesame Street. Now, as we currently know, Warner Brothers and Sesame Street are currently in a contract with each other, sorta, which might eventually lead to Sesame Street having an animated segment or spin-off called Tales from 1-2-3. And honestly, my mom thinks that Warner Bros. Might not be willing to try to let Sesame Street out of their library, so honestly, I have no idea since we all know about this Warner Bros. Stuff. But honestly, I currently have no idea. But if HBO Max and Warner Bros. Are able to keep Sesame Street and still have Sesame Street air on Cartoonito along with spin-offs like Mecha Builders and The Not Too Late Show with Elmo, then why not have a crossover between Barney and Sesame Street? I mean, come on, back in the 90s, they were both the most popular shows on PBS, dominating the ratings, and basically, the closest we ever got into a Barney Sesame Street crossover was when both of them appeared in a We Are Family music video in 2001, and when Barney appeared for the launch party of the Sprout Network back in 2005. But since they're both amazing shows, I feel like why shouldn't they have a crossover together? Now, this may seem like an unoriginal idea, but I was thinking that the special would be a New Year's Eve special, where basically it would be like the Sesame Street 1993 New Year's Eve special, Sesame Street Stays Up Late, where Xavion and Gina are helping the kids on Sesame Street and the monsters and puppets of Sesame Street with a New Year's Eve party. But Telly is terrified to death about the upcoming New Year and tries to put a stop to it. Meanwhile, Elmo, if for some reason, is the host of the Monsters News program on TV, despite him only being 3.5, where he's showing off how New Year's celebrations happen around the world, especially with some of the international productions of Sesame Street. And also having run gag deliveries with Grover. And basically, I figured the Barney's World Sesame Street crossover would be exactly like that, except it would still be CGI animated for Barney's World, so the Sesame Street characters would be like CGI modeled based off their current cartoon designs, but also sort of to fit in with the Barney's World designs. And that basically the plot would be changed a little to make it seem like they've kind of gone for something similar like this before, but it's still supposed to be an original idea for a crossover in a way. With the changes being that Baby Bob has taken place of Telly for someone who's scared of the New Year, and instead of the Monster News program, it would be the Not Too Late Show with Elmo, possibly, I'm still working on this, and that Barney, BJ, Vivi, Mel, and David, along with Baby Bob, are joining the Sesame Street gang with the celebration, with it being a mix of the current cast of Sesame Street, along with some of the old characters who previously appeared in the Stay Up Late special, some other Sesame Street international productions, like the Dutch version of Sesame Street, and that basically some of the Sesame Street human characters like Alan, Nina, Chris, Mia, most of the human characters from Sesame Street would like also help hang out with Barney and the kid characters and kind of be like the babysitter slash parental guardians for Vivi, Mel, and David for that night while their parents are away. Anyway, I was also thinking that Telly would also play into the previous events of Sesame Street's Days of Light, in a moment where he, Barney, and Billy comfort Baby Bop about knowing the new year, with Telly saying, "Baby Bop, I've been in a situation similar to this before, so I know exactly how you feel." Sort of something like that, and also teach that New Year's Eve doesn't automatically appear with a party, it's something that you can't even stop, so, that. Because, let's face it, shouldn't you also teach kids that some things don't happen just because of a party? I don't know. Anyway, this next plan is a really big idea that I announced I was going to make a video of before, but delayed because I wanted to see how Barney's World would play out. And personally, it's still on hold, so I can get like a main gist of Barney's World when all the episodes come out. But basically, it's Barney's Super Duper Circus Tour. Basically, I was thinking about it a while ago and thought if Sesame Street is popular enough to have their own circus tour and show in Australia, wouldn't Barney be popular enough to have a circus tour and show too? Except instead of Australia, it would actually take place in America. So, when I was thinking of an idea, I think I would take direct inspiration from the Barney home video, Barney Super Singing Circus, which, fun fact, was originally supposed to be titled Barney's Super Duper Circus. And I decided that a good name for this brand new version of the circus tour would actually be the original title for Barney's Super Singing Circus. So basically, the live show would have Barney as the ringmaster and BJ and Baby Bop playing along with all of the acts, only there would also be a lot more circus acts, and the backstage moments of the live show would take place on the TV screens. Sort of similar to like the backstage moments from Super Singing Circus, except there might be a lot more, and honestly, this backstage area would be a lot bigger. But anyway, with the new show announcement back in 2023, I kind of reworked the idea to kind of be based off of Barney's World, and along the way, I kind of came up with like a new plot, and I wasn't sure if it would fit in with the series or not because I'm not sure how much inspiration the show would take from the original. But with how I saw Barney's characters portrayed, I found it perfect, and I'm saying I'm not going to change the plot. Basically, the main plot is that Barney has never been a ringmaster before, despite the fact that he, Billy, Baby Bop, Vivi, Mel, and David actually want to create a circus to entertain their friends. So, they hire a real ringmaster named Stacy, who offers to be Barney's ringmaster mentor to teach him how to be a ringmaster. And other plots I thought of along the way is that the kid characters would stay on the screens to show off the backstage moments because honestly I'm not sure how a live show tour production could really make the kids as they are in the TV show without people making notices. I'll explain more in the actual video, but yeah, the kids would strictly be on the TV screens. Anyway, another thing I want to incorporate with the series is that I have a feeling that Scooter McNutty actually won't be featured in the actual TV show. But I figured I would make a mini subplot for him is that he's a squirrel who wants to join the circus. And basically he was working as a popcorn vendor to see if that works, but he ate all the popcorn, so yeah. And basically, Stacy allows him to join the circus as long as he's able to come up with an act that he'll be able to do. And I figured for Scooter, he would actually be voiced by Brandon Smith, who actually is currently a Sesame Street puppeteer, but is also a fan of Barney the Dinosaur, and according to a podcast interview he did with Baltimore 2000, he has a puppet replica of Scooter McNutty and is able to do the Scooter voice, so I figured why the heck not if he works in television and is a Barney fan. So anyway, I figured BJ and Baby Bop would mostly just see what acts they can do and interact with most of the acts. But I would still keep in the line with the plot's line of BJ wanting to get himself shot out of a cannon. But I'm sort of leaning towards which one I want to actually make happen. Like, will he get shot out of the cannon or won't he? Because I know you shouldn't shoot a child out of a cannon because that's dangerous, but on the other hand, this is imagination in a cartoon, and Believe it or not, there are some instances in cartoons where that's happened before, so honestly, I have no idea. You tell me. Anyway, the last project I wanna talk about is Barney and his friends appearing live at Sesame Place. A while ago, I was thinking it would be nice if Barney and the gang had a little reunion show, based off of the Barney Alton Towers show and A Day in the Park with Barney. That would take place at Abby's Paradise Theater with 2 human hosts. Sort of like a special show, to play during special times when non-Sesame Street or Sesame Workshop characters appear at Sesame Place. Specifically nostalgic for Barney fans or for any children who have seen Barney because their parents used to grew up with him. But when the show was first announced, basically I decided to rework the concept to also be Barney's World. And then I also found out that same year that Sesame Place has a special celebration where they apparently have a dinosaur weekend for National Dinosaur Day. And since they have the Power Rangers appear there, I was thinking, what could be more perfect than having Barney, BJ, and Baby Bop appear during National Dinosaur Weekend? I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? They're all dinosaurs. So basically, my new concept for the show is that the show will last for 2 days during Sesame Place's National Dinosaur Weekend. Yeah. And like I said, it was originally supposed to take place in Abby's Paradise Theater, but seeing how that show is now occupied with Welcome to the Party, and the Sesame Street Neighborhood Theater has taken up the space for Elmo and the Buccaneers, I figured the Barney show would actually take place at the Sesame Street Neighborhood Theater. More about that in another video I'm thinking about making. So that's basically all of the projects. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!